So it's the new campaign of don't click every link, of don't trust everything you come across. Hey, my name is Satu. I'm an AI security specialist.
Hello, I'm Teemu and I'm a CyberSecurity Specialist.
Today we discuss about the intersection between artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. So, how does AI seem to be changing the landscape of cybersecurity?
It seems to be changing the both offensive side and the defensive side of the security. New tools and new methods are developed daily.
And I would say also might have an impact that these tools are more readily available. So
Yes.
more people can have easier access to do things they might not even realize.
Yes. Well, on the other side, how can the cybersecurity be seen on the AI side?
More and more, it is growing in importance and it is addressed more often because it is so crucial. It's not enough that the AI does what it's supposed to do. It also needs to be safe and secure. So cybersecurity of them needs to be evaluated and considered from the idea to data collection all the way to end of life of the AI solution. So it's crucial at every point. And here also with AI features coming to the software, like in many software we use every day for work. So it is, even if the company does not develop or have not developed specifically AI, it is still something that impacts all of us because it is coming to all the tools.
As mentioned, the generative AI is used a lot in coding. It is important to know what the technology does and how it works. And you cannot just trust the code that is being generated by the AI. It is very probable that it contains many vulnerabilities that can cause potential harm if run in production.
And it all goes back to the data. So the data it has been trained on, for instance, in the case of code, is code found on the internet.
Yes.
So there are bound to be a lot of unsecure code passages that have been used in the training to teach the AI how it should happen. Use it in your area of expertise, especially for work, that you only use it in situations when you can verify the output and you use time to verify it.
Another thing I would like to add is that the AI is not run in isolation. It is part of the other systems, and often it can access critical data, which means that is one reason it has to be secured. And it is not in isolation. It usually communicates with APIs or other third-party software, meaning that you have to know what it can access and what it can do.
Yes, and here is another specific feature of AI, that it does need access to the production data to actually be useful. You cannot train an AI model on test data. You need the actual production data. That AI needs periodic retraining because the world keeps changing. So the probabilities keep changing. So you also need to think about where does that data come from and how do we make sure that is not poisoned and that is what the data is needed and desired and safe. Because otherwise, even if you've done everything correct in the beginning and in development, you can still have then a poisoned model doing something completely things it's not supposed to do if this retraining aspect is not considered well enough.
How would you see the use of AI in the offensive or the defensive field of the security? Do you have any ideas where it could be utilized?
On both sides, looking at the development of the deepfake technology, for instance, it is so easy to copy someone's voice and use that voice to say things you want to say, and the person knows nothing about it. So these are very easy, and the technology is readily available. You can fake images. So we are going to a world where you may not be able to trust what you see or what you hear. So then we need new processes in organizations for, like, even if you get a video of a company CEO saying that we will say yes to this deal, we will sign off on this bill, you need a way to verify that it's still accurate, that are secure. There's a lot of risks that people need to be aware of. So it's the new campaign of don't click every link, of don't trust everything you come across. But then there's also a lot of opportunities to use AI to improve cybersecurity. And I think you've looked more into them.
I'm somewhat excited about the possibilities how AI can be used, for example, in reverse engineering. And it comes quite naturally since it is a machine, it understands a lot better the machine language, and it can make it more human readable, meaning that is a lot easier to understand what the target is doing, which means it is a lot easier to be attacked. So I'm really excited about the reverse engineering possibilities of it. And other than that, there's of course the fuzzing side of the things. So anything that is like somewhat automated, it can be improved by giving it AI, so it can analyze what works, what not, and it can more easily mutate the target parameters. So there will be more variation, and you can see what happens with different output. What about the defensive side? Do you think there could be some utilization about the AI there?
There's already a lot. AI in especially anomaly detection is very widely used because like there can be heuristics and rules on detecting known threats, but the threat landscape keeps changing. So anomaly detection is a very good way of pinging someone that something odd is happening. Take a look into this, and we can look at how to react to false positive, false negatives, and how to best show the information to people who are then able to take control. We can scan more types of data, like log data. We can work with generative AI that might not have been possible like this before, or generate potential reaction. Like if you get an alarm, you can also generate guidelines on, usually in this kind of alarm, you would need to check this, this, and this, and this is one possible way you could take action. So we could make the work easier to also keep us safer. So there are both risks, and then there are a lot of possibilities.
I think the detection side is all about the signal to noise ratio. So it is very important the AI that is doing the detection is configured very tightly, because the thing that the security operations center operators are like avoiding is the alert fatigue. So there is already a lot alerts, so it would be very beneficial if the AI does not generate any more false alerts for them. How about we talk about how we make AI secure? What has to be done so that we have a secure AI solution working for us?
I will start with threat modeling, of just evaluating the risks to the data sources, to all of the infrastructure where it's supposed to work, including the integrations and networks and so forth. So the entire architecture, you look at what it's supposed to do, and you keep a close eye on sources like Mitre Atlas or OWASP, where you have the up-to-date evaluations of what are the current risks, and then you prioritize which are the most important or critical to that use case and that organization. And you start implementing security from the ideation forward. So you take it into consideration all the time, because to build it afterwards can get really expensive.
We should always start with the threat modeling, take everything into consideration.
Yeah.
And when we do the threat modeling, we always start with the identification. We identify what the system is made of, because if you don't know what you have, you cannot make it secure.
Yes.
It's simple as that.
Making sure it only does what it's supposed to do is so important. And sometimes the unintended consequences and unintended possibilities are not checked, which is where the security testing of these systems comes in, which is why it's so important, because it is easy for a development team to test that the functionalities they meant to build work. It can be more tricky to make sure that it doesn't do anything else, or it doesn't have access somewhere else it's not supposed to. So that's where the security testing and the penetration testing comes in. So that's when you really put it to the test of, does it do only the things it's supposed to do?
So how about the future? Do you have any insights how the AI and security might look in the future?
I think they will be even more intertwined, because it is going everywhere. So it's no longer an option. It's not an optional feature. It has to be built in. It has to be considered to a greater extent than it is now. And AI is, well, it's everywhere, but then also the importance of cybersecurity is everywhere, which we can see like NIS2, CRA, and other regulation that is really pushing for the fact that you cannot opt out of this. That and also the AI Act in European Union is looking for that, based on the risk level of the use case, is then how how to build it in a way that it does not impact fundamental rights and so forth. So there is a pressure to make sure that these systems are more and more secure.
DevSecOps is going to be crucial in keeping everything secure. We start from day zero and we keep monitoring it throughout the development training and the runtime so that we can ensure that whenever something weird happens, we can spot it and we can act on it and we can keep the impact minimal.
But what would you give as the top advice on going forward in this field where security is ever more important and AI is ever more present?
Where there are no silver bullets for this, there are no silver bullets for anything. And for that reason, I think the main thing, as you said, is to understand what you are dealing with, which makes everything a lot easier. And after that, it comes down to following the fundamentals, which means utilize the defense in depth and utilize the principle of the least privilege to keep everything under check. And after that, monitor, so that you know when something happens and you can act on it.